Hi y'all, welcome to Petite Weaver Crafts episode 23. I'm recording here today on November 22nd, 2016. Oh my goodness, it's been so long since I've done this, so apologies for any awkwardness that might come across. I have a lot to show you guys. So after about 2.5 weeks of travel dating, I actually got a lot of finished objects done, as well as lots of stash enhancements, some new works in progress that you guys haven't seen before, and the prize giveaway for my hat along. So first up is my finished objects. So if you guys watched the last episode, I was frantically trying to finish this dress before I left my friend's wedding in Maui. So as you can tell, I did manage to get it finished. I love the way it turned out, and I'll insert a picture here of me wearing it. But I got lots of compliments and I was super happy. Once again, this is the Betty dress by Sew Over at London. It's an independent pattern designer in the UK, and the fabric itself is from SpoonFlower and is designed by the TangledPen. It was a custom watercolor design that she kind of put together for me, but it is up on her shop if you guys are interested as well. I had it printed on the poly crepe de chine, because I figured it wouldn't wrinkle so much in the luggage, but it was a little bit see-through, so I did have to line the dress itself, as you can see. Up next for finished objects is my threshold sweater. This is a pattern by Melanie Berg. This turned out amazing, and I loved it so much. It is knit with Forbidden Woolery's Pride, which is a sparkly fingering base, and this colorway is called Goldilocks. And the color is coming up a little bit bluer on camera than it is in real life. It is a very much golden yellow, which just suits my skin tone very well. I have warm undertones, so I prefer a yellower yellow than like a blue yellow, like a mustardy yellow, I guess. But yeah, I adore the way this sweater turned out. Here you can see the little texture detail on the sleeves. This is a boat neck sweater, which is the first boat neck sweater I've knit before, and I really like the fit of this entire project, so I think I probably will want to make another one of these pretty soon. Since it is fingering weight, it is a lot more versatile than some of the heavier sweaters that I've knit recently. So yeah. Up next is my second hat for our knit along. I finished another Sockhead hat. This one I did with a shorter brim and a shorter hat, so it's slouchy, but it isn't as slouchy as the Sockhead slouch is written up to be. I did use a smaller stitch count. I only did 136 stitches instead of the written 144 stitches. Yeah, I wanted a little bit more tight-fitting hat if I folded up the brim, and you can see it's pretty snug up against my skull. And then if I wanted the slouch, I can just pull the brim down, and then it's nice and slouchy. Yeah, this is knit with Madeline Tosh Light in the Found Pottery colorway. Super cute. I wanted a more versatile accessory that matched a lot more clothes. So along with that, I also finished a pair of fingerless mitts to go with it, since I had so much leftover yarn. So here they are. I just knit a basic mitt pattern. I just started with a little cuff and then did a few rounds in stockinette and then split off for a thumb gusset and then ended up with some ribbing. So the way I did these, I didn't do any sort of shaping really. I just knit a straight cuff, that way I can fold it down when I don't need them, like this, and then if my fingers do get cold, I can just unfold the tips. They don't look the neatest, but I didn't feel like dealing with a pattern while traveling, so yeah, that's what I went with. Yeah, so here's the pair to go with my hat. But yeah, this was great on my trip to Tokyo because it was actually pretty cold there at one point. It dropped down to about 40s, which is the coldest it ever gets in LA. So I was very cold. And it rained too, so that didn't help. So I was really grateful for both my gloves and my hat. The last item that I finished since I recorded with you guys last was a pair of house socks. So these are knit up with Regia 8-ply that I purchased in Cambridge from Mind's Eye Yarns. And these are a size medium. Um, this is a self-patterning yarn. And the pattern I used was the Rye Sock by Tincanknits, except I didn't do the pearl bumps on the front side. I just did a plain stockinette sock, and I actually did a double gusset heel instead of a regular heel flapping gusset. But yeah, these are destined to be Christmas gifts, so that's one more item down and just a few more to go for this last month. So yeah, that was it for all my finished objects. It feels really, really good to get all that stuff off the needles because it was getting a little bit out of hand. So I was very, very happy with my progress. I also did get a hoe. So this is a Pairfect sock, which is another Regia yarn, and the colorway is Cheesecake, I believe. And this sock is also going to be a gift, but this is a 48 stitch sock. So the cuff actually started to get a little bit long, so I ended up using the last stripe to make a heel flap and turn before I went on to the foot. So the interesting thing about this yarn is that it does have a yellow strip of yarn in the middle of the ball to indicate where you should use to start the next sock so you have a perfect pair. So I did start the second sock, and I did manage to get quite a bit done. I'm on the second to last color, and these I actually knit in the dark. I've had quite a few movies to catch up on since I've been gone. So I started these right before I watched Doctor Strange. And then between Doctor Strange and Fantastic Beasts, I managed to get quite a few more stripes in. Up next is stash. Holy moly, I have quite a bit of stash to show you guys. So first up, when I was in Maui, I did find one quilt shop that actually had a little bit of yarn there, and the yarn is hand dyed by a lovely lady on the island. So I purchased this gorgeous blue variegated skein, and the colorway is called Catch a Wave, which I thought was very appropriate. And this is just a basic sock yarn. It's a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's 100 grams. But yeah, I wanted to pick something that was memorable for my trip. There isn't a ton of yarn selection at that shop because I'm sure there's not a ton of knitters on a tropical island. But they did have some unique yarn colors, so if you guys have a chance, I would stop by, but like I wouldn't go out of my way to get there. I also picked up a few buttons. So these are actually hand carved by someone on the island, and these are coconut shells. So I thought they were very, very pretty. They're little flowers. There were some sea turtles and such too, but I thought these little flower buttons were adorable. So I picked up a set of those. After Maui, I did fly over to Tokyo, and we spent a few days there. There was only one shop that was super close to where I was staying in Shibuya, so we went to Moorit, and it is a lovely, lovely yarn shop. Unfortunately, it mostly stocked American and UK brands. There wasn't anything that was local to them, but I did pick up a skein of Opal yarns, which I don't have a local yarn shop that carries it, so I did want to try out some Opal stock yarns. This is the Imagine Tomorrow World's colorway, and this series is the Hunderwasser's work. So the yarn is based off of the art, as you can see here. Yeah, it's a very pretty purpley skein of yarn, and it's also self-patterning, so I was excited. But yeah, that was it that I purchased from Moorit. I did stumble upon another store called Sosterne Greene. It seemed like I've never heard of this store before, but it seemed like a IKEA equivalent. So I ended up walking past this gorgeous display of yarn, and it ended up being just a basic cotton yarn, and I purchased a blanket's worth. So I ended up picking up four colors, white, a light blue, a light gray, and like a teal color. And these are 100% cotton, and they're 50 grams and 160 meters. But yeah, I ended up getting 6 skeins of the white and then 4 skeins of each of the other 3 colors. I figured I could double the strands up since it is a fingering weight yarn. I make a bounce blanket by Tincanknits, which requires a DK weight yarn, but yeah, holding 2 strands together should be enough for me to make a DK weight-ish. But yeah, I was probably going to stripe these and have this as the contrasty color. And the Sosterne green that I went to was actually in Harajuku, in between Harajuku and Shibuya. It was kind of in like a back alley, kind of hard to get to. But if you Google Sosterne green, it should pop up. I also did a lot of shopping for project bags while I was there. So I got a few bags that I'm going to be using as project bag gifts from Sosterne Green. There's this super cute lion bag. I believe these are toiletry bags because they kind of have a vinyl lining in them. This lovely yellow house print. So these are 2 wedge bags, and then I also picked up 2 box bags and this super cute green kind of geometric print, and then the light blue print kind of almost looks like feathers to me, but yeah. And I also picked up some bento bags. So bento boxes are just like small Japanese lunch boxes. So they make a ton of cute bags. So these are kind of like the wedge shaped bags. Bento lunch bags actually make a pretty good size bag for a pair of socks or like a single skein shawl. So here you can see the diagram of the bag itself. Yeah, I picked up this super cute Pikachu one from the Pokemon Center in Tokyo, and yeah, and I picked up this Studio Ghibli Totoro one from one of the souvenir shops as well. Yeah, super cute. And lastly, here is another bento bag. This one is shaped more like a tote bag, but if you look carefully, you can see a little alpaca there, and then on the other side, there's a little sheep. The print was just so cute on this. This one is from B-Side Label, which is a sticker store, actually. And the sticker store is in Harajuku, I believe. But yeah, they have super, super quirky stickers. But Japan seems really into alpacas. So I did manage to pick up a few alpaca stickers from them, as well as this little tote bag. So on to works in progress. So as I said, I finished a lot of projects while I was away. So when I got back, I kind of didn't want to work on anything too complex. So I worked on my Cozy Memories blanket a little bit more. And I haven't worked on this for quite some time. So I added these 4 squares to the blanket. And as a reminder, I do a 51 stitch mitered square with a center double decrease to get this really nice ridge going across. And I use a US size 2.5 needle. I've been a lot more motivated to work on this blanket because it's been a little bit cooler here in LA. So I like to have the blanket on my lap as I'm working. So I completely forgot. So while I was away, I did manage to snag a advent calendar from Lynai Yarns. She is a dyer up in San Francisco. And I actually have it already hung up. For her advent calendar, she has 5-gram mini skeins of her yarns, as well as a few stitch markers, notions, and treats. So you have one for every day leading up to Christmas, and then the final Christmas one is this little red globe here. But yeah, I plan on adding those mini skeins to my blanket, so I kind of wanted to pick it back up. But yeah, that's my Cozy Memories blanket. I've been having super, super bad jet lag. So as I was laying there trying to go to bed, I kind of had a thought to make a crochet blanket with all of the tiny, tiny bits and bobs from my Cozy Memories blanket. That wasn't enough to make another square, but they were all sitting in my bag getting all tangled up, and it had been annoying me for a little while, but I didn't quite know what to do with all those little scraps. So I ended up casting on a granny square blanket. And here it is. Luckily I can work on this while it is pitch black laying down next to my boyfriend, who did manage to go to bed. So here it is. It's not super pretty, but it is getting rid of all my tiny bits and bobs, and that is actually really helpful. Here you can see the ball of all the scraps. So anything less than 4 grams or so, I've been putting end to end using a magic knot, and just I balled it all up for this blanket. It's not the cutest, but that's okay because it's just decluttering my life, and I kind of needed it. And like I said, I can work on it in almost complete darkness, so that's been great. This has only been about a day and a half, a night and a half of work, so yeah, hopefully I won't get to work on it in the pitch black much more. I think I finally got my sleep schedule regulated again, but yeah, so that's my last work in progress. I haven't been really working on anything else. I do need to cast on a few more Christmas gifts, but I'm trying not to stress out about the whole Christmas gift knitting thing. Alrighty, so up next is the fun part, the prize giveaway. So we had 21 entries in the finished object thread, so I will just go to random.org and put 1 through 21, and then let's generate for the first prize is going to be the project bag that I made. I actually switched up the lining fabric that I thought that I was going to use. I thought this went together a lot better. But here is the project bag. It is fully lined, and it does have interfacing in the bottom, so it's very nice structure to it. And it's a drawstring bag, and here's the inside. Super cute, I thought. And the winner of this is post number 13, which is JaciMischelle. She knit a lovely Miriam hat. So I will message you on Ravelry, but if you see this before I get a chance to, please message me either on Ravelry or Instagram. And then for the second winner, which is a skein of Modern Era sock by Material Culture Fiber Arts, is post number 8, which is JaciMischelle. She knitted this cool Plants vs. Zombies hat for her nephew, I believe she said it was. I will get you in contact with Tria from Material Culture Fiber Arts to get your prize as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for knitting along with me. This is my first ever knit along, so thank you so much for joining me. I hopefully you guys got some cute hats out of it, even if you didn't win any prizes. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching this episode. Apologies in advance if it is a little bit awkward. I haven't done this in a long time. Thank you for watching, and as always, you can find the show notes down below and on petiteweavercrafts.blogspot.com. We have a Ravelry group. If you ever have any questions, you can send me a message through there or Instagram. I do try to check them and answer them. And you can follow me on Instagram as Petite Weaver. And that's it. Thank you so much.